Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, September the 4th, as Jupiter, expansive, generous Jupiter, goes retrograde. Retrogrades every year. It's retrograding from September the 4th until December the 30th. Whatever you are expecting, whatever's been promised to you, with the Jupiter retrograde, it could be delayed. What you're expecting could be smaller. The best news is that if you're expecting some, a job opportunity, monies, and for like October the 1st, might be pushed to December the 1st with that Jupiter retrograde. Now, on Monday, the 4th, the moon is in steady Taurus, grounding Taurus, in harmony with the sun in Virgo, both earth signs, and the moon by late morning Pacific time will be aligning with that Jupiter. So the moon, Jupiter being really intensified, going retrograde, and Mercury, communication Mercury, is retrograde since August the 23rd until September the 15th. But on September the 4th, Monday, retrograde communication Mercury will be in harmony with a newly retrograding Jupiter. These are two really favorable planets. They're in harmony, but they're in retrograde. Now, Mercury and Jupiter, I'm thinking education, I'm thinking travel, publishing, marketing. With all these 6 retrograde planets, and with Mercury retrograde trining Jupiter on retrograde on Monday, you certainly wouldn't want to be introducing any major new initiative, events, projects. But this could be very favorable energy to be revising your plans. You might be rethinking your educational plans, or maybe starting to think about going back. That's a good retrograde energy. Starting to really think about going back to school, or to get more professional training, or to be making long-distance travel plans, or making a lot of adjustments and changes to any of your travel itineraries. Now, on Tuesday, the moon continues in Taurus, steady Taurus, will be in harmony with transforming Pluto mid-morning. That is a really good time for introspection. That's Pluto, or cleaning out the closets and letting go of stuff that no longer serves you and holds you back. As the moon in Taurus goes void of course from 9:47 a.m. to 1:08 p.m. Pacific time, at which point the moon goes into Gemini. Now, again, with 6 retrograde planets, especially Mercury in retrograde, and the moon void of course, the moon's not making any aspects to other planets, so the energy is flat. So moon void of courses with all these retrogrades, but especially Mercury in retrograde, stick to your routine, what you've been doing, cleaning up old projects. Don't move forwards into any major new directions. And in early evening Pacific time on Tuesday, the moon in intelligent thinking Gemini will be in a hard angle to restricted Saturn. That moon Saturn, you might be starting to worry too much, getting overwhelmed with all those work responsibilities or all the delays. The answer here is it only lasts an hour or two, so don't get all caught up emotionally, so that too shall pass. As we go into Wednesday, retrograde Mercury will be aligning with the sun. So the sun is putting a spotlight on these adjustments these edits. One positive, now that Venus, the planet of forgiveness and relationships, is starting to move forwards ever so slowly, and Mercury is retrograde but being spotlighted by the sun, this could be a really good day to really talk about a relationship, could be business as well as love and close friendships where you got off track. So it's about, could be very good for forgiveness, for reconciling, especially as the moon in intelligent communication, talkative Gemini will be in harmony with a Venus, cooperative, diplomatic, loving Venus from about noon, 2 p.m. Pacific time. On Thursday, the 7th, the moon in Gemini. Moon in Gemini can be very distracting. You're going from one idea to the next idea. You can't keep your focus, especially as every 7 days, the moon will make a hard angle to all the different planets. But on Thursday, the 7th, the moon, mid-afternoon Pacific time, will be in a stressful angle to nebulous, foggy Neptune. So for an hour or two, you could be really confused, unfocused, and again, this too shall pass. But with all the retrogrades, and the moon will go void of course from 3:23 p.m. to 10 p.m., at which point it goes into Cancer. You certainly wouldn't want to be making any important decisions, and this is a time when you could get really overwhelmed and being out of focus. So you want to breathe, you want to exercise. You don't want to be moving forwards in any new projects. Friday, the moon is now in Cancer, emotional, nurturing Cancer. But Cancer, when the moon's in Cancer once a month for 2.5 days, can be a couple of days of moodiness or more of a strong desire to stay close to home with domestic chores, family. That's all Cancer. But the moon on Friday will be in a hard angle to impatient, irritable Mars early afternoon Pacific time. So there could be some impatientness, some irritability. But Mars is the athletic planet, and you're feeling irritable. This would at least go take a long walk, get the energy out of the body. But it should be okay for most of you because the Virgo sun, Virgo is very sensible, very practical, is going to be in harmony, forming a trine to the retrograde Jupiter in Taurus, an earth sign. Virgo's an earth sign. This is why they are in harmony. So it's Friday, going off for the weekend, and the sun's in harmony with Jupiter. You would at least be feeling really upbeat, optimistic, and really good for traveling, travel plans, education, marketing. But that Sun, Jupiter, you're feeling generous, you're feeling optimistic, and it's a great combination to start the weekend, especially on Saturday, the 9th. That emotional, nurturing moon in Cancer will be in harmony with optimistic traveling Jupiter around 4 to 6 a.m. Pacific time, and then be in harmony with the sun from 7 to 8, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and then early evening, very favorable to innovative, eclectic Uranus in the early evening Pacific time. So there's a lot of activity, more positive than anything, even with the 6 retrograde planets. And being a Saturday, you could be really enjoying your home, your family. So you could still be open to socializing and partying, going to entertainment venues. But the more it's with family, people that you feel like it is you're a family member, but it's only a good friend, really favorable energies. And on Sunday, the 10th, Now the moon in emotional, moody Cancer, after a wonderful Saturday, goes retrograde, goes void of course. 5:47 a.m. Pacific time till 9:37 a.m. Pacific time, at which point the moon goes into Leo. Leo is passionate. It wants to be the best. It wants to shine. Leo represents playfulness, romance, children. So Sunday after 9:37 a.m. Pacific time, and there's no other important planetary events other than in the background, all these planets are retrograde, that moon in Leo wants to have fun, wants to bring the inner child out to play, wants to be creative, good for entertainment. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.